you don't really own all the money that you make at the end of the month. And what I mean by that is that basically every time that you receive a paycheck, there's parts of it that already don't belong to you. So let's say someone makes or someone earns $1,000 a month. A part of that goes straight to taxes. You don't even see it. Another part of that goes to the supermarket or to your car payment for insurance or some other expense that you may have with someone that you live or something like that. All these things are expenses that maybe you don't take into account when you're looking at what you're making. So at the end of the day, we're making a lot less money than we think we're making because of all these expenses that we have. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because usually people or society, whatever, is teaching us that we have to save money in order to have a better life. That's at least how I was seeing things for a long time. But in reality, I think the key is to actually try to make more money instead of saving more money. Because if we have all these expenses that are taking basically all of the income that we are making at the end of each month, we're basically never going to move from there. So the only solution that I see is making more money. So let's say someone has a job that makes them $3,500 a month, and that's their monthly paycheck. They're comfortable, they're good, they like the job. That's how much they're making. And then this person also has another client on the side where they earn $500 a month with a skill from their job, so it doesn't take them much time. This person in total is making $4,000. So it's a good amount of money for that person. They're living well and it's a comfortable lifestyle. Now, if we see the expenses, these are all made up, by the way. This could change. It could be a lot higher, it could be a lot lower, depending on the person, obviously. But this is just an example of things that maybe we don't look at when we're taking into account how much money we're making. So let's say this person pays straight up 25% taxes. This person doesn't even see $1,000 because they go straight to the IRS, to whatever. This is if you live maybe in a country where the percentage is around that, because I know there's countries where it's a lot higher. So this person pays 25% taxes. They pay $700 a month on groceries, $1,000 on rent, 250 on car, and then other expenses 250. So this person's total expenses add up to $3,200. 3,200. That person at the end of the month has $800 left for other expenses. Now, in reality, from my point of view at least, this person isn't really making $4,000. Sure, that's how much money comes in, but at the end of the month, they just have $800 left. So you really don't have that much money. And I think this is a trick or something that we fall into very easily, and we don't notice it unless we're like really looking at the numbers that we're making, or the amount of money that we're making. So if we see at the whole year, in this part over here in the bottom, if we add up every month $4,000, this person now earns $48,000 a year, and their expenses is 38,400. So in net income or stuff that this person actually has of leftover money at the end of the month is $9,600. Now, this amount of money left over is unrealistic, because I'm sure majority of people are gonna spend a lot more of that 9,600 in other stuff, maybe things that they want to buy, gifts, present, eating out, whatever. So in reality, this number could be a lot lower than it is. And the main reason why I wanted to make this video is because I think that saving money in one job is something that isn't the best case scenario for the majority of people unless you have a really high paying job. So if you save up $9,600 a year, it would still take a lot of time for you to build enough wealth in order to retire, or even to do something that allows you to have more of your time back. And finding a way to exit that, to in order to have more money left over so you can save more or you could do whatever you want with it more, I think there's a couple ways that you can attack or approach this issue. And I've noticed from what I see in society and in countries and people that are successful in general is that they either have a really high paying job or they have something where they make money without exchanging their time. So they don't work 8 hours and earn X amount. They could work 2 hours and earn a lot more than like a minimum wage or minimum salary. So those are some things that we have to take into account, and a couple ways in which someone can increase their income in order to have a little bit more money left at the end of the month is finding a better job, for example, or learning a skill that's gonna substantially increase the amount of money that you're making every month. That could be something, I don't know, like software development. It could be email marketing. It could be social media management. It could be accounting. It could be something that has some sort of specialized knowledge where you can earn a little bit more money and you can end up with more money at the end of the month after all your expenses. So it requires maybe learning something new or taking a class, taking a course, maybe sacrificing something in order to achieve or find that better job. Maybe you already even have the skill, but you haven't been able to interview with a good company the way you like, and you just have to learn how to communicate a little bit better. So all those things are very important to increase your salary from that job. Another thing that I think is really cool that a lot of people could do and they maybe don't realize that they could is finding a client based on what you already know how to do. So let's say I'm an accountant and I work at a firm or whatever, and maybe if I put in a little bit of effort, I could find a client who needs accounting. Maybe it's a small business down the street from where you live, and that business needs a person that knows how to do accounting or bookkeeping or something. And let's say you charge that person or that business an extra $1,000 a month. That work that you're gonna do for $1,000 a month is gonna be probably a better return than all the time you're exchanging at your job. So that would be a great little addition into your main income with something that you already know how to do. So just being able to find clients on stuff that you like is something that's really interesting, and I don't know why it's not pushed out in social media and in society in general. Just finding clients in general by yourself is probably a big ROI on whatever it is that you do. That's why a lot of people say that sales is everything, and it kind of is, because if you find people who are willing to pay for whatever it is that you're selling, then you're probably better off doing that than having a job. And there's a example that I always think about on TikTok is how there's people who wash cars or luxury cars in people's homes, and these people charge like $150 upwards for each car. So if they wash like a couple cars a day, they're already making over minimum wage without working 8 hours a day. So that to me is really powerful, and that shows how finding clients on stuff like that can help you out and could allow you to have a better lifestyle. So finding a client with something that you already know how to do or learning a new skill is always a good way of trying to look or trying to get a better income. Lastly, starting a side business is something that's very feasible nowadays. I know in this channel I speak a lot about making money on the internet and e-commerce in general. So setting up like a e-commerce store, a Shopify store, takes like a couple hours or maybe a couple days if you don't know how to use it. So it's something that's very accessible, and finding manufacturers, finding people, suppliers that could make a product that you want to sell, super easy. And then if you want to even market it, organic content is right now probably the easiest way to go about it, and it's something anyone could do. It could be someone that's passionate about t-shirts or joggers or whatever, and then you come up with one and you explain why the quality of the cloth is or of the material is so good, and how someone in Italy made it, and it's someone that's like super crafty at doing that clothing. And then that's gonna be your brand. You're branding yourself, you're showing or you're marketing your product that way. So starting some sort of business like a e-commerce store would be one way. You could even start a service business. Maybe you're a person that knows how to do digital marketing and you get like 5 clients for $500 a month, and it takes an hour of work every 2 days or something like that. You'll be making a little bit extra money just by doing something that you enjoy and that you know how to do. All these things are critical if we want to end up with more money at the end of the month, and that way we actually will own more of what we make than the previous example, than the first example, where the majority of the income is going over into expenses that you don't even realize that you're paying, but you need them in order to survive. That's my take on income and expenses in general. I have another video where I talk about e-commerce and making money online, which you can see here. And thanks so much for your time.